West Coast, and we live, man. And I got the boss with me, man. What's up with your boss, Cowboy?
What's going on, everybody? Good to see you. Before we go to sleep, obviously we're not getting ready to go to sleep. Just wanted to say hello at Texas Live. Got the big game tomorrow. Good year, my brother.
Good year, man.
So, put in a lot of work, and it's just the beginning of a season. So obviously we're very excited. Pretty much been all day Cowboy related, huh?
Yeah, pretty much. Started off with the Cowboys Experience event over at Lava Cantina. That was very, very active. Had Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, and Michael Gallup in the building. That was fun. Now we up here at Texas Live. I had the boss in the building, so I'm like, man, we might as well talk some football for a little bit. Y'all let us know how I sound. I know we got the stadium in the background, so that's just like epic, right? Hella epic, right? Boss, man, what are your thoughts? Give me a thought on tomorrow, man. You take a turn. When you talk, you hold.
Well, I wish Dak was paid because I would want him to play loose, especially in a game where we have the paper. I would say paper advantage. Like where obviously on paper we look better. So I would say I would want us to have Dak in a game to where he can make some mistakes, not under pressure. But that's not going to happen more than likely. If he's enumerated in the morning, I doubt it because you made a good point earlier. What was you saying earlier about more than likely why Dak wouldn't get paid? Because we was talking about, I can't remember, you were saying something about you need him to be focused on football or something like that.
Well, basically, Dak Prescott is going through a routine for 53 games plus preseason games, and that's his everyday routine that he goes through as far as preparing himself to get ready for a football game. Why would you want to throw that routine off by, giving him something such great that he's never had in his life before? I just don't feel that you should put that distraction on Dak Prescott before a game. That makes no sense to do that. On a game day, you want him focused on football. It doesn't matter how much you're getting paid. It's his game day. You know what I'm saying? You're no longer doing it you're doing it for the check. You're doing it for your brothers now. You know what I'm saying? Those guys that's in that locker room that's strapping up. It's game day. So I don't want Dak thinking about his money on that day. I don't want him thinking about, I don't want him thinking about that at all. Definitely I want him to go out here and beat the crap out the Giants, and then after he beats the crap out the Giants, Jerry Jones hand him a check for $112 million.
Absolutely, and I just saw a question. I'm actually looking at some of you guys and what you said. What's up, Curtis? And he said, do you think that they will put Zeke and Tony on the field together? Good question. That would be a curveball that I don't expect because they didn't practice it. And generally, if you don't practice it, you don't see it. But I didn't hear him or see him working a lot of receivers. I would love it as a changeup. Love it. But it would have to be something that I know he's going to win. But so more than likely, I think it would go traditional. I think Zeke will, lead it off. If we control that drive, I give him 3 series, and then he should maybe start sitting down, and they'll go with Pollard. That's what my opinion would be, how they'll rotate those backs.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. I think just on principle, Jerry Jones is going to have Zeke out there, and he's going to get the first snap of 2019. Is going to go straight to Ezekiel Elliott. So I definitely believe that. You know what I'm saying? I think after that, you're going to see what Boss said. You know what I'm saying? You got to think like this. When he did play in preseason games, he would play a couple series and then he'd be done. So I would think they'd do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Play a couple series, see how his body responds, see how he responds, and then kind of go from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You should have been preparing for the Giants without Zeke, so you should have a pretty damn good game plan without Zeke. You know what I'm saying? Still, I would think the Cowboys would still run with that game plan and just use Zeke now as the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
You don't throw that whole game plan. I'm pretty sure you've been getting ready for almost probably a month now for these Giants. So why would you throw that away for one player? Even if he is Ezekiel Elliott, you want to do that for the Washington Redskins. You know what I'm saying? So, because you got to think like this. You were probably going into this season thinking that you might not have Zeke, and you were probably thinking I can confidently go beat the Giants. So go ahead and do that then. You know what I'm saying? and just sprinkle Zeke in there. That's why I said we shouldn't need Zeke to win this game, because we didn't even know we were going to get him until, what, 2 days ago?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And then I'm thinking, like, the ideal rotation to me, West Coast, I would say would be like, the ideal rotation to me, West Coast, I would say is maybe like 3 series with Zeke and then maybe like 1 with Pollard. Because they had a rotation similar to that when he was in 2016. I think I would love Dallas to kind of stay on that rotation.
Yeah.
Because if they stay on that rotation, that's still kind of setting him up slower, but also preserving the now long-term asset of Zeke. So, I'm pretty sure we're going to see that. I think that's kind of like a gimme. So I will also say what I want to see them do tomorrow, frankly and honestly, throw the ball.
Throw the ball. That's what I said, too.
I mean, I want to see them throw the ball. We know the secondary is depleted.
Yeah.
And we know that they was losing a lot in preseason, and it was against starters. So if we have the weapons that we say, and if we're coached up like we say, I want to see us throw the ball tomorrow. Yeah. You know, I don't want to see Zeke first, Zeke second, a measurable third down, milking the drive. I want us to attack the Giants.
Yeah.
And it's because that's what you've been working on. You've been working on what? Deep balls.
Yeah.
We've been throwing it more deep. You know, we've heard all of that. You witnessed that. I've witnessed that. I want to now see them put it out there.
Yeah, and that's why I said that I was real big on Michael Gallup having a big day, man. I even told him today when I saw him at the Cowboys Experience event, I said, hey, man, I got you started in my fantasy football. So, I mean, what does that mean to you?
Right.
Like, I need to know, what does that mean to you? Because I know what it means to me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, what does that mean to you, Michael Gallup? He just laughed, smiled, said, all right, man, I'm serious, man. What does that, I need to know, what does that mean to you? That means to me that you are going to be productive in this offense. I think, you know, my thing is this: who's been at practice every day? Dak Prescott and Michael Gallup. Yeah. So why wouldn't this offense run through them?
Right.
That makes sense. That's what you've been practicing. Michael Gallup. I mean, think about this: when the first team offense has been out there, who has the offense been going through?
Gallup.
Michael Gallup.
Right.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. This should be, if you have. That's why I said if you have Michael Gallup, I definitely start him. Why? Because I think he's gonna have probably the biggest game of his career. Not the career, but the biggest game of this season. Why? Because he's gonna get the bulk of the targets. You mean Amari Cooper hasn't played 1 game, bro, let alone practice once, bro.
Right.
He's actually worse than Zeke right now because Zeke was at least in Cowboy practicing. Amari Cooper's been healing. That's 2 different things.
Hey man, I have to roll out like 1 more big to me. All right. Now, I have to roll out, in my opinion, West Coast, what I really want to see a major return of, and if possible, signs of dominance again. The offensive line.
Yeah.
I want to see that tomorrow. And I want to see it late if possible. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where it's time to whir on them. Like if we're ahead and we know we're getting ready to run the ball, right, secure this win, I want to see us dominate.
Yeah.
And that will tell me a lot about Frederick. That'll tell me a lot about how Zach Martin back is feeling. That'll let me know pretty much where Liel is with his confidence, with his new contract. And you know, that so much can happen from just, and I want to see good protection.
Yeah.
Because if Dak is protected, we know what Dak does when he's protected. He's a much better quarterback.
Yeah.
So if I see that, even with a bad defensive showing, I think we're going to see some good offense.
That's what I'm thinking too. I mean, at the end of the day, I just, my keys for this game was be effective on your first drive. The Giants want to run the ball, so guess what? How do? You use that against them by what? Making sure they're down. Why? Because if you're down, it's hard to run the ball. You can run the ball when you're down in the first quarter, but you can't run the ball in the fourth quarter when you're down. You got to throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? When they put the ball in the air, I'm taking my DBs over all Sterling Shepard maybe over, I don't know. But even then, I'm still going to probably take my DBs over all their wide receivers. You know what I'm saying? So I think them putting it in the air is probably going to be, we're definitely going to take one. Why? Because in preseason, we had 4 straight games of a takeaway, 3 straight games of double takeaways. So that is a culture change. So I would be very upset if I don't see a turnover in some fashion in this Giants game. That would definitely be like, what the hell, man? I know Donovan Wilson got 3 of them, but still, that's still a culture change. Shoot, man, before we get up out of here, man, what's some other points you had?
Man, I know we're going to see some dominance from defensive line. That's still an expectation in my opinion in this game.
Yeah.
So this is a game where we so stocked and we so beat. How do we not create massive damage? And I don't think they have the weapons for Eli to get the ball out.
Yeah.
So if you can't get the ball out because you don't have, who you had with Odell Beckham, that's going to give us time.
Yeah.
So the cover sacks because see, Dak suffered last year. This is my final thought. When his receivers was last in separation per target in the first 8 games. So when you're last like that, that means it's harder to throw to those targets, which then means it gives the lineman time, and that's why to me his sacks added up.
Yeah. That makes
so
sense.
That's exactly where the Giants settled.
Yeah.
So that's a final point to where it's not even like I want to see it. I really expect to see it. With the way the Giants are built, they still struggled in the offseason with protection. So if we don't go out there and rack up at least some real damage to Eli at least 4 times, I think that would be a bad day.
I think so too. Yeah, man, that's some good points. I mean, that's actually playing to the strengths of what the Cowboys want to do and playing to the weakness of what the Giants have. That's just what the film says, man. But hey, man, it's been a blessing being out here. We got the stadium in the background. Tomorrow we're going to be live all day, so make sure you guys tune in, man. You guys already know what it is. Boss Cowboy, where can they find you at?
Yeah, obviously go to my Facebook page, which is Boss Cowboy Sports, but my Twitter is backwards, where it's Cowboy_Boss. That's my handle.
Hey, and you guys already know who I am. You already know what it is, man. Never look down because of stars.